welcome back to the Homes Podcast, episode 14. Here, I'm Jerry, and aside from me is...
Dave Kellogg.
There we go.
Good morning, everybody.
The two best hosts in the capital region.
Right here.
That's what we say all the time.
We're about to start saying that. Good morning.
So today, as every morning, every time we start this podcast, we have a special guest. But today we have a local investor who I've dealt with his brother, helping him buy a property in Schenectady. I'm assuming David has also helped you and your brothers also get property here too?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Prelude to a future.
There you go. Well, we got Teekah Lachman.
Yes.
How's it going?
Good, guys. Good morning. A pleasure to be on the podcast here with you guys and to share some experience and some knowledge and give you guys whatever little tips you need and, take it for the next step.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yep.
So I guess, how did you start?
It's a long 20-something years ago. Used to live in California. Back in 2003, I moved to Schenectady for investment purpose. Came to visit, and I see the great opportunity that Schenectady had. And I start off right there. I start with a two-family, and then I obtained the present house I'm living at from the City of Schenectady. It was a total redo. Didn't know to do anything. Mm-hmm. Didn't even know how to screw a screw. And, that was my work in progress. That's where I started construction. And I learned and moving forward. Keep going from one house to the other.
And that's beautiful because you saw living in California, those prices were probably still all-time high and almost unaffordable. Coming to Schenectady was almost heaven.
Oh, yes, definitely. Because, I bought my house in Sacramento in California, and it was like $415,000 for my house back then.
Oh, my. What year was this?
That was back in 2002.
Wow.
In $2,002. That's $1 million today before you talk about appreciation. That's
exactly.
Just
Yep.
Exactly.
Inflation numbers.
Yep.
So
wow.
But then the bubble had popped a few years after. I think was around 2006, 2007. Remember when we had that big real estate bubble?
Well, you're talking about the housing market crash.
Yes.
Which I'm going to rely on some great movies like The Big Short.
Yes.
We talk about it all the time. But interesting enough, there was a tech bubble crash and didn't affect housing prices in 0102.
No, that didn't happen. But
amazing that you're in a place where tech is and a job crash like that doesn't affect anything.
yes, correct.
But yeah.
Yep.
I want to go back. I wish I could relive the memory of when you came to Schenectady and looked around and said, "This is home." I mean, that to me would have been a cool because now because I'm familiar with it in the last 5 or 10 years, besides some local buildings, I'd imagine almost everything's changed in 21 years.
Oh yeah, drastic. It's downtown was like a ghost town, and from then to now, it's huge development, huge improvement, and it's a really good thing to see that Schenectady had made such a development from when I was back in 2003 to present. It's a huge difference, and I must say it's a good progress throughout the mayors, throughout the years with all the different mayors and making Schenectady back to be a blooming city. Mm-hmm. And I love it.
there you go.
Yeah. Now, would you agree, coming from California, that perhaps we could reinvigorate our transit lines and have trolleys put back into Schenectady?
Keep in mind, he says this every episode.
Yeah, that's my new.
He really wants these trolleys.
It's a good thing. I don't see. I can see there's a lot of positivity in it. I can see it making the city a great city. That we can offer that into our city.
That service, yeah.
It would be good. It would be great.
If only that infrastructure was still around.
Yeah.
Like directly under our feet whenever we walk.
Yeah.
No, I like throwing that out. So it's really cool to me that you've been here 21 years and you're still very active in it. We were talking just before the show, and is the one you're in now, is that your biggest project?
Yes, that's one of my biggest projects I'm in right now. I did take on back in 2013. I think it was in, not sure. But about maybe about 6, 7 years ago, I took on a city-owned rehab, full rehab, 6 unit on Lansing Street.
Okay.
Six
Is that for sale?
No.
Okay. 'cause
655.
That's
There was
Six-
one for sale.
Yes,
A 6 unit that had a piece of land next to it that they were buying from the city to use as a parking lot.
I think
That
that's
was-
651.
Okay.
Mine is 655, 657.
Yep.
Yep.
Cool. Yep.
So Teekah, how many units have you acquired in the span of 20 years?
I would say roughly about 30.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
You,
about
do you
30.
keep them all?
Yes, I keep. I never sell none of my property.
Yeah.
Whatever property I acquire, I keep.
Yeah.
I don't sell.
So when you do the work, do you find you fall in love with the property? You say, I'm going to change these things to where it makes sense for me, and kind of like, I don't want to say it's a kid, but it's a project that you've put enough time, effort, money, and energy into that you're like, this is mine. I can't let it go because you or the next person won't realize that's where I broke my toe, and that's where I had to fight 3 times to get a different header in. Like it's a work of love. To do good work is a work of love.
Oh yes. I love to keep all my property that I put in a lot of effort in. Pretty much everyone that I bought and I keep for my own investment purpose. Myself and my 2 other brothers, we do flip also, but those are just we buy, we redo it, and we flip it. So that's different from what my own investments are. We have project going on in flippings. We also have a different project that we are getting into that we are in progress and very active in it. Starting building single family homes. And the single family homes that we are building now is going to be from manufacture, from the factory, the modulars.
Fantastic. Cool.
So it's not exposed to the elements and the weather and all that. It's
Yeah.
built from the manufacturer, comes straight into the location of where the property is going to be located, and it's installed. So there's no damages. There's no, it's honestly. And I visit the factory, and the factory is fabulous. Meaning the way how they build these houses,
Yep.
it's unbelievable.
Yeah, what does it look like?
It's when they have it assembled from one location, and by the time you reach to the end of the building, it's finished. With
Within a
everything.
day?
Oh no.
Okay.
That's
we're
a lot
not
of
we're not there yet.
You're not there yet. But that's the process how they have it. It starts from one end of the building, and by the time you reach to the other end of the building, it's completely finished, inside and outside, roof, all the fixtures inside. It's all done.
Wow.
Yeah, so when's crane day? Let's talk about that. When's your proposed crane day? When do they set the house?
Well, I have 3 houses going to be going up on Webster and 8th and Webster, and my first one is looking to hit in July.
Cool.
So that's when my first one's looking to hit in July, towards the end of July. Don't have an official date because it tends to change based on the weather.
You could change based on a traffic accident on the way up.
You
too,
know,
right?
so yeah, but as of right now, we have a projected date towards the end of July, around the 25th or
cool.
26th,
Good.
somewhere around there.
Okay.
So that's going to be our first project that we're dealing with completely from rehabbing. So these are all brand new built homes getting installed.
Not only is this your first modular home drop, this is your first new construction to start. So
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Yes, this is my first new construction. We done multiples rehabs,
Sure.
multiple rehabs, and but this is one of the different scenario, different project.
Yeah.
That we're doing a full built home in being a modular home.
Yeah, no, that's what I like about that is that sometimes, I mean, with modular now they're building them in factories and delivering them. The only thing I see wrong with that is it's taking a lot of jobs away from those who survive off of constructing these homes and doing them full time. I guess do you see cons in modulars versus people who build them?
The only positivity that I can see is that modulars are gaining more positivity because it's not exposed to the elements, with the weather. That's believe it or not, when you're building a house and you're building it from ground up, and if you're building it in winter month, you're exposing it to all the different temperature and the weather, the snow, the rain, the ice, creating a lot of damages to the property without you not knowing it. When you seal that up, you're not gonna know that for the next 15, 20 years, because that moisture got in and it's gonna deteriorate the material. The material is gonna lose its strength, and you know that's one of the main thing that we move away from. We were planning to stake bill, but after we take all this into consideration, and we when we want to sell a house to this person, we don't want no headache, especially if it's brand new bill.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want somebody to come back to me and say, "Oh, this you just built this house, but it didn't erat it."
Yeah, yeah.
It's
There's issues there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to Jerry's point here. So someone still builds that house. There are still contractors that go and they put on their tool belt and they, so there's still jobs. You're still creating jobs. His purchase probably hired, 10 people for 2 months to build 3 houses or 2 months or something. So it's still job creation. It's just not as local as what you're hoping it would be.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do know there's like a modular place out in Winenskill or something like that where they will build homes in a factory that's only 40 miles from here. I'm sure there's more. Don't yell at me, internet, for not remembering all. But the other cool thing is when you're at the job site and it's a local place and you need a 2x4, there's 500 of them laying around, and the nail gun broke. Well, we got a replacement, and we have someone in the tool shop repairing these things. So you always have the right materials, the right job. You're never in the rain. You're not out there baking on a roof because they're covered.
Yeah.
So you're catching people at always the right weather to work. Your slip and trip hazards are going to be minimal. You probably have an on-site safety person that just their job is to make sure that everything is safe, clean, and ready to build. So there's a lot of really cool things, a lot of positives in mind to that.
Yeah.
My question, but to transfer now over,
Yes.
you said you can't put a guarantee on it if you stick build it. Do the modular homes come with a guarantee or warranty program?
It does come with a warranty program. Yep.
And that's transferable because they
Yes.
must know that people do what you're doing to sell at a profit.
Yes.
So it's a transferable warranty.
Correct.
I don't know if I've ever seen a warranty on a new construction build. I mean, that to me is pretty cool.
Yeah.
What kind of warranty does that come with?
It comes with a 2-year warranty, for any cracks or any
Things that settle.
settle. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, you're putting a house on a truck and driving it long distance. Things
Yeah.
can happen, right? So it
Yes.
makes sense.
Exactly.
That's
So
cool.
it does come with a warranty. But yeah, to get back to your question there, and great, David mentioned some of that too. Yeah, there is a lot of local factory manufacturer for homes in the area. So, and they employ people around the clock.
Okay.
So they have it's not like for a 2 months period they have it, because they build for continuously. So they have employee all year long. I went into this one factory and they have people there been for 30 something years
Oh, wow. Okay.
working in this company. So
Were you able to find a local builder and distributor to do this home, or did you pick this up out of state?
No. Actually, it's local. It's local. It's
even better.
it's up in.
Spill the beans, brother.
Yeah,
What's what we're
yeah,
talking about
exactly.
here? Yeah.
So it's
Good.
it's local.
Okay.
So it's not it's hours or a different state.
Okay.
It's all within the
Cool.
the state of New York.
That's cool.
Well, let's take it back to investing. So you got here, you fell in love with Schenectady. Me and David both help a lot of buyers, try to invest in Schenectady or other places in the city. What tips would you share with those when looking to purchase their first investment?
Investment. One of the things that you want to do when you're getting into investment, if you know it's not going to be your primary home, it's all come down to how much you're going to pay for it, what's going to be the cash flow from it, and if you be able to sustain it with your mortgage, interest, and your taxes and your insurance. It has to match up. If it can't add up, you wouldn't be able to maintain it. Back in one time, we saw a lot of people loses their house because they couldn't maintain it, and sometimes tenants play a part of that too. If you have a tenant in your building, 2 family, for instance, and one of them decide that they don't want to pay, which we do have that, then you got to take out money out of your pocket to make the bills reach, because you still have a mortgage, you still have the taxes, you still have the insurance that you have to pay. And that doesn't, so it's all come down to, for investor who want to invest, new investors, just make sure you do your homework right. Whenever you're investing in a property, you're getting it for the right price, and the rental market that you're gonna get, your income from it must be able to sustain it, to make it grow.
I agree. And having two other brothers in the same business must help too. Just
Yes, I
like
have.
minded and wanting to help. And I have a brother as well, and I'm also helping him trying to get into the business and just learn as much as I can so we can both
Grow.
build up
Yeah.
an empire. That's how you pretty much scale.
Yes,
with leverage.
definitely. And one of the things as an investor, if you're going to invest, you have to be able to do 80% of that work by yourself. Because if you're going to hire an outside contractor to come and do work for you, you're not going to make the money. You're going to keep paying bills, because you're not going to make any kind of a big income from it. You can grow from it.
Correct.
But if you can do the building part of it, to maintain the building, something wrong, electrical or plumbing, minor stuff, you can fix it yourself. Versus you got to hire somebody to come and do it. To change a faucet, you should be able to do a faucet.
Not in 2024 anymore.
Well, thank God for YouTube.
Yeah.
But I want to go back to that, right? So you're working on bigger projects now. You're not doing a lot of ones and twos, I'm sure, except for the new construction piece, right?
Correct.
Different beast. I think in the beginning it's important to kind of learn to do a lot of that stuff. But depending on where you are in your career, let's say I'm ready to build a retirement and I live in Manhattan, and Dave Kellogg, the high-powered lawyer, whatever, but I've got money to put away. I might just pay someone else to do the work because I can bill out at $500 an hour, and I'm not paying someone $500 an hour to mow my lawn. So it comes down to a cost analysis.
Yes.
You're right. I'm happy to pay some. I mean, my wife, she never watches this, so it's whatever. Like, I've paid the neighbor kid to mow my lawn because I want to take my kids somewhere else. Like, I've get maybe 3 hours a day where I could spend time, and I'm like, well, I've been doing other things all day. I don't want to spend 40 minutes mowing my lawn. No, my kids do help mow the lawn. I'll start the lawnmower, and they'll kind of keep track of it. But
Exact.
But it comes down to the one thing we can't reproduce, no matter how much money we have, is our time.
Time,
So
correct.
there's a point. If you had 30 units, I know you're not one to knock on the door. Hello.
Yeah.
You got to plunge. I got to plunge your toilet. You're out there saying, I'm looking for the next 5 or 10 or 20 unit complex to get your hands dirty, because that's what returns most for your time.
Yes.
But in the beginning, let's say we're going to Amsterdam and looking at a $130,000 two family, and that's all your money. You're going to be driving to Amsterdam to mow the lawns.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
At least in the beginning.
In the
Definitely. That's what I meant. It's in the beginning.
Exactly.
If you're
Yeah.
going to start off as a new investor in the beginning, you have to do certain works yourself. Because if you can't do it, then you're going to be spending a lot more money paying some professionals to do it. When that money you can help to grow your investment.
It's also a training program, right? Doing the work yourself. If you're mowing the lawn on a hot day, you say, okay, well, why does this person charge me $35 to mow the lawn? And you're like, okay, well, last time I mowed that lawn, it was 2 hours of work, and I had to go buy gas twice.
Yeah. And a sunburn.
And a sunburn, right? so doing the hands-on, as you did in 2003, you said you didn't know what you're doing. You said even you didn't know how to put the screw in.
Oh, yes.
You've
correct.
learned that.
Agreed.
You now can sit on the throne of the empire, as Jerry said, and say, I can do the job. I'm choosing not to, because you started it with a two family and you've
Correct.
grown. The other thing you mentioned, I thought we were going into, was risk diversification, right? If you have a two family and one person doesn't pay, you're out half your income.
Yes.
But if you had 30 units, or you buy a 4 family as your first investment and one person doesn't pay, you're still carrying the load. You're still paying the debts off. So if someone says, hey, I've got this one FHA loan, I'm going to make an investment, I'm like, let's go 3 or 4. You will love the fact that if one person misses, you're still firing on 2 or 3 others.
Correct. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So people are like, well, you're just trying to get more money. I'm like, well, it doesn't hurt that I sell you a more expensive house.
More money, better.
Exactly.
But the insurance program of having more payers is huge.
Yes.
Right.
Teekah, take us to when you purchased your first two family. How did you start scaling up to get more and more units?
Good question.
Oh, when I purchased my first two family, I purchased it from a owner.
Okay.
Got a mortgage, bought it.
FHA.
Um, at the time, I would think so.
Okay.
I couldn't remember if it was FHA because I had to refinance a couple of times.
Okay.
Yeah, the interest rate at that time was high. It's pretty much like what we have right now, I think, or maybe.
Don't tell people it's high. It's historically.
Yeah, yeah.
It's historically average. Teekah. Don't tell people it's high. Yeah. You still got to buy and sell stuff.
Yes, but I start with that, and then after a year or so, I was working full time too. I continue work, I never leave my job or anything. I still work. So I got a line of credit, and from my line of credit, I invest my line of credit and buy a next house, and that's how I keep growing. I keep growing from my line of credit and take out a mortgage from. Once I buy that cash, I end up go get a small mortgage off of it, use that mortgage, put back towards my line of credit, wait for the next opportunity to pop up, use my line of credit to keep going. So
Yes.
pretty much that's what I did, to keep growing.
Okay. And did you continue to move? So you lived in the two family. Did you move into the other properties,
no.
or you just stayed there and just kept?
I bought the two family. I never moved into it. I was staying with my mom. Yeah. So I was still living with my parents on Michigan Ave. Then I bought a single family house from the City of Schenectady. That's the one I fixed. That's the one I didn't know how to do anything. The two family was fixed. I rented it out. But that's the one was a total rehab. I had certified electrician came in, plumbing, heating, and then the sheetrock part of it, I did. The building part of it. So that one there is the one that I move in and live. Yeah, so I still have the single family that I live in.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Yep.
And I like the fact that you're being transparent. That you didn't live in the two family. You try to get as much as you can from that two family, still living in your parents' home, and then still acquire more properties doing just that.
Yes.
So
That was one of the biggest, positivity and push that you get by working full time. And I was married also, so my wife was making income too. So, you team the money up together, it helps. So.
Exactly. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks it's easy to buy a property and manage it and then sustain it for multiple years.
Yes,
No.
yes.
So it's difficult on the buy side. It's a little easier sometimes on the sell side. But I mean, for coming from someone who manages it, you bump into things all the time. I'm sure.
Yes.
Right?
You'll bump into a lot of different obstacles. You just got to know how to get rid of it.
So So you have 21 years experience. Do you ever think, with any amount of experience, you're ever going to be able to say, "I know it all"? Because I think houses always teach us something.
No, you always learn something. There's no way you can know it all. There's no way you can know it all. There's always going to be somewhere that you're going to learn something. There's always room to grow. There's always knowledge is the key to success. You have to gain knowledge on a daily basis. It's all about, more you know, more you're going to learn. More you know, more you're going to learn. And every day you're going to learn something.
So I want to know more about this transition from. You've been doing many projects. You do some flips with your brothers. Yogesh is a real estate agent, so I'm sure he gets those sweet sales when they're ready. But let me ask you, why do you change from renovating existing houses to these new 3 builds?
The time and effort that it takes us to do the rehabs, because whenever we do a rehab, whenever we flip a house, we tend to do everything new. And the amount of money you put into these to these older homes to make it better, it's a good room to do. But then also, when you look at all the vacant lot in Schenectady that's abandoned and it makes the area look depressed, that's what drives me and my brothers. You know what? Let's try something different. Let's do something different, and that's where we leads to. And we acquired a couple of lots and. We want to start there, and then from there we can start, acquire more empty lots and build single-family homes to develop the city. So the city can be also, be blooming within the committee. Have the committee see that there's development. There's not just a vacant lot. There's going to be development coming up, so that way there's opportunity to grow.
So if you had 2 doors to walk into, and one was a new build, and one was a renovation, a full gut renovation, based on your experience so far, I know we haven't the crane hasn't come and dropped these houses in and whatnot.
Yes.
Do you foresee which one being a bigger headache, the renovation or the new build?
I would see the renovation. Because it's still under an old foundation, still under old structure, whereas a new build is a brand new foundation from ground up. It's all brand new.
Do you think you'd still have that same answer if you built stick build?
Well, stick build is still a brand new foundation, brand new
Yeah.
a whole brand new building coming up. Meaning it's still the same. It's just that we didn't choose to go in a stick build format of it. We choose to go in a manufacturer
I
format
think
of it.
the reason I asked that question was, do you think there's a bigger balancing issue with contractors on a renovation versus a new build? Because in a renovation, if I see a wall, I see it's damaged, I can look left, I can look right and say, okay, I know what this wall's supposed to look like. And it's a different skill set than saying, okay, I'm looking at the plans and I've got to do things in this order because I can't put this wall in before, or the foundation before the plumbing and sewer shows up. That's why I'm asking that.
Well, yeah, that
Is
would
it
be
a
more on a
logistical kind of thing.
Yes, that would be more on a stick build side of it. Everything has to be based on the plan, and same thing in the modulars too. Everything will be based on the plan because you get to review that plan, you get to submit that plan to the city and have the city approve it, and it has to be stamped and approved by the city and issue a permit. Once it's been issued by the city, then the manufacturer will bill, and they will bill it to that specification, and they will have inspection going through the process. It's been inspected throughout the process.
So on a new build, you inspect when you hit certain landmarks. How do you get the city to sign off on something that's coming finished?
Oh, that's the other part. The other part is that the state inspect that, so they have state inspection.
Okay,
So
interesting.
yeah, so with modular home, it's being inspected by the state. They have third-party inspector that goes there and inspect it.
Wow, that's cool.
I didn't know that.
That's a whole different. Like, I'm really excited about that answer because now I'm going to probably deep dive and see, like, that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah,
Nifty.
you stomped them.
So I like that. Though.
Yeah,
I
didn't know
love
that
when-
either.
Yeah.
So there's a third inspection now.
Because I was wondering
Wow.
what if they did like a video tour, like this is the framing, here's some 2x8s.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, man, hold the tape measure up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's all been done.
That's wicked cool.
That's cool.
I think it's more. I think it goes through a more serious inspection in the manufacturer
Gotcha.
aspect of it, where it's on site stick built. It's not as accurate as when it comes from the manufacturer.
So now, sorry.
I think it's for me. I think it's go through more inspection.
Question.
Yep.
Now, we're at 30 units, right? Or you're at 30 units, not we. How do you manage them? Like, do you have a property manager who goes in there and
No, I'm managing myself.
You're still doing it by yourself?
by myself.
Oh wow.
What's the break even number where you have someone else do it? Is it 35? Is it 38? Is it 100?
No, actually, my philosophy is that if I'm invest, I must be able to communicate with my tenants. I wouldn't want somebody to manage my property without my absent. The reason for that is that the communication when you build with tenants, you tends to, although they're all not good and they're not all bad, but you have to have that communication with them, a one-on-one communication, not because you're the owner, you give it to somebody and have them manage it. A lot of people does that. For me, I think my philosophy, I like to deal with more of a person. I want to deal with them. I want to hear their story. I want to, if they have a bad time. And I always work with all the tenants that I have. Good time, bad times, I work with them. So I like that one-on-one with them.
Gotcha.
Apart from that, managing the property, I like to be there. If something wrong, I want to be there to take care of the issue. I don't want it to go through a different page, 3 different person before the issue get taken care of.
Yeah.
Because that's where the problem is that when you are the owner, you have a property manager, you're going to have a contractor. Now it comes to the owner, property manager, there's going to have to be a list of people he has to go through before they get approval to go fix it. In my sense of it. Whereas my tenant called me and they told me they have an issue, I'm there to fix it right away.
Gotcha.
Instantly. So, that's my way of doing things.
Okay.
Let me ask a different way then. do you hire a leasing agent to manage 30 leases? Because that can be different than having a property manager, right? Because you could have someone that mows the lawns and whatever, but it can be onerous. It can be like a big headache or handful to say, look, I'm doing these projects and now I've got 3 tenants moving out in July. How do you show those units and keep up? And I guess that's my question: is how do you, one, find time for it all, and two, choose to do it yourself? I get the relationship piece. I totally understand that, and that you want to beeline to the renovation part. So I'm removing that.
Yes.
I want to know how you find time to show units, unless you have an incredible re-rental history.
Well,
which you might.
Well, to build, that's one of the things that when you have good tenants, I develop a relationship with all the tenants. I treat everyone kind and respect. I get that back in return.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I don't want to say I'm the best landlord out there, but I don't have a lot of turnover.
That's cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
I do have a few, but not.
People have to move.
People
People's
will move.
life changes.
Yeah.
People will move, and most of the time, if a tenant want to move, and it's my tenant, it's either one of two things: they move to a bigger apartment of mine, or they move to a smaller apartment of mine.
I like
So-
it. Keeping it kind of in the
So
family.
once
kind of
they're a
situation.
very good tenant, I keep them, and
That's
I try
awesome.
to satisfy them if they want to move to a bigger one, or if they want to move to a smaller one.
If you had if you had a tenant that said, look, my family's moving in and I need a 5-bedroom, you don't have any, would you go out and create one for them? No, but
That's a good question.
No,
could be.
you're
Like,
right.
let's
you're
say
right.
I've rented
Yeah.
for 12 years, money's good, our relationship's good, and my mom or dad decide they want to move up and be near their grandkids more often. Would you do that for the right person?
Yeah, believe it or not, I do. Accommodate a lot of my tenants. They're pretty much their family renting from me. So if I start off with one tenant, and if I had one tenant start off with me when I just started. She started off, then she had her daughter rent, her sister rent, her brother rent, her son rent, and she just bring every one of them as I got the apartment available. She just bring them in one by one, and it's the same thing. It's not just one family; it's multiple families I have like that. So I'm renting to a family of one person, and next thing you know, I'm having their entire kids and sisters and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's been quite a few tenants I have like that. So it's more of a family stuff that I try to maintain with the tenants too. So every time I have an apartment come, I don't advertise my apartment. I go to my tenants. Okay, I have this apartment available. If you know someone, let me know. And that's how I market my
I like
apartments.
that.
Yeah.
So I really don't go and advertise it out there. Once in a while, I will call Section 8 and let Section 8 and put it on the Section 8 list. Or SCAP. I have some good friends down in SCAP, and Donna and Mike, and so I normally call them up.
Good.
Oga.
Yeah, it speaks to the person you are. It seems like you're very family oriented, and you treat your tenants the same way.
Same way. Yep.
So
same
it's
way.
like they feel the same energy.
Yes.
So that's awesome.
Yes.
So no need for a leasing agent. No need for.
No.
Yeah,
no.
that was a good way to answer that question.
Yeah.
And it makes me kind of want to be a renter.
Yeah. Yeah. Can
Right.
we rent from
Yeah,
you?
I'm like, that was
Do you
like-
have any units for me and David?
So the legal landscape today is different. I feel like if more landlords cared as deeply as you seem to, that we wouldn't have the legal landscape completely pro-tenant situation that we have now, because the pendulum swung where they had to protect tenants.
Yes.
So you are drinking the apple juice that is spoiled by those bad apples with the complete change of an equalization of rights to only tenant rights, basically. And you've been participating in a seemingly really encouraging and nurturing kind of tenant-landlord relationship.
Oh yes.
I wish I heard answers like that from more investors.
Yeah,
Like,
me
I mean,
too.
Honestly,
Yeah,
that sounds great.
That's awesome.
Right.
The only question I had was the time piece. That's still, you have to exude a lot of time in regards to renovations that occur, maybe even finding these new tenants, even if they're referred, writing up the new leases. You still do that all by yourself, even trying to
Oh
balance
yes.
time with yourself, your family.
Oh yes, yes, yes. I try.
Wow,
I
that's
do the.
amazing.
I do.
Hats off to you.
I do the renovation myself too. Yeah. Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I would have called Yogi and be like, Yogi, I know you got DocuSign, so DocuSign
Yeah,
these
yeah, yeah.
three leases.
Exactly.
Over.
So
So the houses you're building now, those are single family.
I have single, two family.
No, the new build. I'm talking about those new
Oh, the
builds.
new build. Oh
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. Those are all single families going to be.
So, assuming, because I always want to assume success, right? We don't assume failure. You don't say I'm going to
Correct,
plant
correct.
seeds so my field floods and everything dies. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm going to pick these flowers, right? So, assuming that everything goes well,
Yes.
are you looking forward? Or are you already looking forward to more new builds?
Correct.
Okay.
I am.
Are any of those going to be stick builds, or are they you like the process you have?
I like the process that I have with modulars.
Okay.
Can it change in the future? Maybe.
Okay. Okay. Do you believe any of those might be like what do you call row houses? Townhouses, like common wall townhouses. Because we just spoke to AIK and MLB Development, and they're buying modulars, right?
Yeah.
Aren't those
Yeah,
modulars?
yes.
Those
Yep.
are modulars, and those are going to be townhomes, so they can put more on a piece of land,
Oh, okay.
and to keep the construction costs somewhat reasonable.
Reasonable. Yes, yes. That will be a next area that I'm going to be looking into once it's been approved by the city. Because it all has to be approved by the city. And if the city doesn't approve it, then you can't do it,
Of course.
And that's one of the things that I have to start to talking to the city. If I want to go into that direction, what are the requirements and are they willing to approve it? Because it's all come down to the city what they want. Sometimes it's all based on what the engineer wants and the planning want and zoning and building.
You have to have your tenants go to the city and just speak about how you've treated them over the years. I mean, I think that would be the quickest approval right there.
Or say, hey guys, everyone that goes out to city council and says why you're here, I'll make sure there's a free delivery in your inbox. Right?
So-
it's not bribery; it's reward.
It's
There's a
reward.
difference.
Exactly.
There's a difference.
Exactly.
So you've done a lot of renovations. I want to ask, what do you have like a personal touch or flavor you put into every renovation? You keep them. Do you like a specific type of wood or granite, or do you like the range hood is maybe different? Like what is it if I walked into one of your units and say, that's Teekah's?
Yeah. Well, I try to, based on all the old design, pretty much I keep them the similar with how it's been structured. I just put new appliances, new cabinets. I kind of upgrade it to new appliances and cabinets. Flooring, I do on floorings. I do vinyl. In the bathroom, I do vinyls. I figure that stand up better for me. That stand up better than tops than tiling. In the bathroom, when I redo the bathroom, I do top surround.
Yep.
Because I think it's better.
It's 100% waterproof.
Yeah. And
Unless something breaks or you're messing around with it.
Yeah, because when you put tile tends to become more of a
It's porous.
problematic, because if the tenant doesn't clean it often, then they have mold growing in the grout line, and the
grout,
grout can be how much they say the grout is sealed. It's never sealed. Give it 6 months, you'll see all that darkness coming out from that grout. So I stays within the with
Smart.
within that area.
I guess what is when renovating, I guess for first time home buyers or people first time investors, when they're doing renovations, where would you point them in the direction of? Should they install a pool in the back just because, or should they focus on the big major projects like the big areas where you can make your money back, like kitchens, bathrooms?
Is that for investment for flip, or is that investment to keep for rental?
Investment. Actually, do both. I want to hear both scenarios.
I
The first-
like that he qualified, and I like that you're looking for both answers.
Yeah.
Because they can be very different.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're very different.
Yeah.
They have to be very different. If you're doing an investment to flip, well, then you want to put in more into the property. When you want to sell something to someone, you must sell something that's very good. You don't want to sell something that's it's done halfway. It must be done right. It must be done correct. the person must be able to live in the house for at least 20 years without not doing anything. If they're paying their money, they must get their money worth.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way we are doing flips. And that's one of the way that we tends to move away from the rehab and try to do new homes. So that way, when somebody move in a new home, three bedroom, 2 full bath home with an open floor plan, you don't have to do anything for the next 30 years.
And 2 years guaranteed.
Yeah. Knock
You know,
on wood.
Warranted. Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
and then it comes down to based on the area too. You know, it's all based on the area. If you want to put in a pool, you want to do that, then it will be based on the area. You know, within the city of Schenectady, if you're gonna put in a pool, you're not gonna get the money worth that you're gonna put into it. So at the same time, it's all gonna be where the location you're investing, and how much you want to invest into the property.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on the flip side to that, if you're keeping a rental, you want to concentrate on the structure of that rental at all time. Even the house that you're gonna flip, you want to concentrate on the structure, because if the structure is not good and the structure you don't maintain the structure to be strong enough, then remember you're keeping that as a rental. Who's gonna end up going back there? You are.
Yeah.
If you don't spend the money right and do it right, you're gonna be going back there to fix the mistakes you make when you're doing it. So you don't want to spend the money twice to do the same thing. You want to get it right the first time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's for investor. That's any new investor. That would be my point. Don't try to do anything fancy. Make your house very fancy, and I'm investing. But it's all about making it right. Do the work correct. Let the structure sound, and you can fancy your kitchen and your bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, spend the money in small pockets.
Yes.
So, I completely agree with you. One of my biggest pet peeves when I walk into a house that's been flipped, and you feel the waves in the flooring, where they didn't flatten it, they didn't put, and then you find the spot that's soft. You can hear the floor click, and you're breaking those little click joints every time you step on it, and eventually, you're gonna have tripping head. That to me, like I don't walk around and touch walls. I'm not gonna. I won't know if that's a solid or hard structure because I'm not touching the walls every day.
Yeah.
But you touch the floor with every step, and I walk into a house and those floors are wonky, wavy, bumpy. That's my biggest one.
Yeah.
So for me, that's what drives me absolutely bonkers. What type of So I do think wow factors make a difference. I mean, if I'm gonna put in countertops, you have to have countertops. You got to cook
Correct.
the turkey somewhere.
Yeah.
Granite or marble's not that expensive. It's a lot per square foot. I wouldn't build 3 islands this size to play beer pong on.
Yes.
But if you're only at like 20 square foot, it's $1,000 or maybe 1,200.
Oh, yes, yes.
That's not a huge. I mean, that's gonna be the thing I talk about though.
Yes.
So it would be like a little built-in. You have a little dead space, build a nice built-in, and put something that catches the eye. Oh, you mean the house with the cute built-in? No, I like the house with the nice granite countertops. That's your differentiator.
Yes.
That's your speaking point.
Yes.
So.
Yep.
Yeah. What kind of wow factors do you put into the Lachman homes?
Oh, to the new homes. The new homes gonna be they're all coming with granite.
Granite. Okay.
Yeah, granite, and we're gonna be doing tiles.
Okay.
Bathroom. Yeah.
Even after the porous
just
grout
told us-
lines.
Well, not in the bath. He means the floors.
I know. I'm just in the kitchen.
Meaning it's gonna be your personal home,
Okay.
and you will be the one who's taking care of it.
That's a good
okay.
differentiating point there too.
That's a big difference there
Yep.
when it comes to tenant and it comes to your own personal home.
Mm-hmm.
If it's you're gonna buy this home, you definitely gonna take care of it, unless you don't want it to take care of it.
Well, we hope
Whereas I'm not. Don't get me wrong. Tenants are good. Some tenants are really perfectly clean. Meaning you walk into their apartment, just pick on. But some of them, you walk in, you want to walk out. Honestly.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I've been
We've seen it.
I've
I've been dealing with that. It's not all the time you're gonna get the perfect tenant, and that's where you're gonna have to you draw the line at one time, and you're gonna say, okay, eventually I'm gonna get this person out because based on the the condition and the cleanliness they're keeping the apartment, and that's whereas the new build home we're going to go in that route with the tile and granite because it's an upgrade and it's a be owning the home, your personal home. So you will have to be taking care of it. If you don't want to take care of it, it will be on you.
It's on you, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I guess my question is, what's the biggest lesson you've learned, just in home ownership, home construction, flips, rehabs? Just what's your biggest life lesson in doing this whole thing?
Ah, the biggest life lesson is that you have to love it if you want to do it. If you don't want to love it, don't do it. And I love what I do, and it keeps me going. It keeps keep motivating me. To go out there and keep doing it. Um, Also, that some of the tenants can really energize you, especially they treat you very respectful, and they're happy that you can rent to them, and they thank you on a daily basis. Nothing means that you're helping humans at the same time to get the shelter to live somewhere. Whereas you have people who don't have houses, or they don't have an apartment, they're on the road. So those are the lessons that make you as a human feel good, that I'm not just doing it because I want to make money, but I'm doing it because it's for a better cause, to provide something for someone to live in, or to call it their home. And that's one of the things that drives me to keep doing it.
I can tell, yeah.
So
You keep buying up all of Schenectady. Leave some for us too.
That was another great answer, dude. And
Yeah,
I
it
love the
was.
question too.
Yeah,
I mean, like that
it
was
is.
that was.
Right?
I can't wait to rewatch it. I want to ask you the two next questions. I think are going to be probably my last two.
Okay.
Jerry's had some killers lately, so you might have something. I want to know the project you're working on now.
Yes.
If you don't mind talking about.
Oh,
the
no,
one
sure,
myself.
sure.
And then when you're done with that, I want to know what your dream project is. If you want to build a mansion, or you want to build an Airbnb, somewhere in the woods, or a VRBO, or develop a huge piece of land into a farm and retire, whatever, like the dream
Yes,
project. So
yes,
let's talk about the
yes.
big one you got now, because the big one you have now is a big one.
Yes.
And then I want you to transition to what like the dream is. That's like
Yeah.
the feather in the cap, if you will.
Yeah, got you. Yes, actually, my current project is a city home building that I acquired from the city. It's on Hildebrandt. It's used to be 11 apartments, 3-story 11 apartments. I'm converting it into 9 apartments. So it's gonna be 9 nice apartments when I'm done with it, and it's a total redo from top to bottom. Everything's getting brand new. Reframing inside. I did some reframing, the structures. With that project, I'm projecting it to be done by December. I'm working it currently. That was one of the reasons why I had to leave my full-time job.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I leave my full-time job because in my aspect of it, that I will pay somebody to do it, they wouldn't do it to my standard.
I understand that.
So I leave my full-time job to do my building, so it can done right into my standard. I'm not cutting costs. I want it to done right. I want it to done correct. So because that's going to be a building that I'm going to be keeping, and I don't want to go back there because my contractor didn't do something right. Because when they don't do something right, I will have to fix their issue. So rather than me go there to fix their issue, I'm fixing it right now.
That's amazing. I mean, I don't know how many people would quit their full-time job just to focus on their project, their home, a project like that.
Yeah,
That's-
that's why I say I love what I do.
That takes
and,
a lot.
I love my job. I've been with my job for 16 plus years too, and as an IT tech, and I had to call it. I had to leave because I couldn't maintain my job and then work on my project.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to accomplish it. So I had to make a choice, and my choice was to leave my job and focus more on what I love to do, and that's what I did.
You say that with a smile, and I can.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
and I can absolutely tell you.
I
you
feel
love
it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like I love going in there and getting splinters under the nails, and patch my thumb. But if you're not there, everything can be covered in sheetrock.
Yes.
Every mistake in the world or everything right in the world. So it is very important to have hands on and eyes on during process.
Yes.
Absolutely, I agree completely.
So now the other aspect is that what my dream, I have a lot of different dreams. One is where we're starting out right now with the single family homes to build. One of my personal project dream that I would like to do is to work on a maybe a 15, 15-story building. If I can get the opportunity to work on something like that in Schenectady to make it into a big apartment building, and that's what my dream is to have
Renovate or new build?
either renovate or to new build.
Because you said 15 stories.
At least, yeah.
Is there a single 15-story?
I was thinking about.
I don't think
I
there's.
think 5. I think you're going to have a skyscraper named after. Like, no, I'm on board. Like, I'm Team Teekah right
There
now.
is a Team Teekah.
Like, I'm on board.
So that's one of the things that I'm working to accomplish.
Wow.
I don't see instantly, but I'm taking one project at a time, and I want to have at least about 50, 60 apartments in one building, and to have make it more of residential building, so that we can attract outsiders to come and live in Schenectady and make Schenectady, starting me being a skyscraping city.
Yeah.
The capital region is missing that. Not only Schenectady, I don't think there's a lot of 15-story skyscrapers like that.
What's the tallest building you can think of? The across the river when you're in Rensselaer, you can see the egg and those 4
Yep.
similars and the
Yes.
one giant
Yes.
one
Yes.
that they
Yes.
overwatered and then plank grew too tall.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Besides
I
those-
love
Besides
those
those.
buildings.
Yeah.
I was looking at those buildings. I was at one time because I always worked on Albany, and I thought they were abandoned. I was tempting to go and acquire it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So.
I hear the Central Warehouse is highly
Oh
discounted.
yeah, that's another one.
Oh yeah, that's when it's coming down. I think, right? That's the one.
Teekah buys it.
They not a Teekah buys it. Oh wait, me?
No,
Oh,
Teekah.
Teekah. Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think is it going down? I did a story on it, but they say because of all the it could be hazardous in regards to everything that mold and things. It could be airborne, so they don't want to knock it down because it could actually affect.
You can fix anything
Locals,
with enough
but-
money.
That's
Yeah.
what they keep saying, but
Oh okay. Yeah, it's been abandoned for ages.
Long time.
A very long time in Albany.
Long
yeah.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing I don't want to see is private ownership of that building and then public funds used to take it down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
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 You,
yeah.
Your dog bites someone, you put your dog down. You buy a building that's hazardous, you knock it down yourself.
Yes. Yes.
Sorry to get political, guys.
No. That's
Yeah,
un-
that's
un-
responsible.
That's an honest response.
I'm fully agree with that. If
Yeah.
you get something, it should be your responsibility. You shouldn't be, using a grant to do it. Like any one of my project, I don't use no free money. I use my hard-earned money,
yeah.
and I don't rely on grants to do certain things.
Mm-hmm.
I do it myself.
So,
it
have you
should be
drawn
like
this
that.
15-story building in your mind? I'm sure you built it in your mind. You ever put it to paper?
No, not yet.
Well,
I-
speaking to existence,
I want to see your rough draft. We usually have an art that I pick on and say, "Where's
It's not
my
there
new
no
art?"
more.
Oh my god! I would love to have a rough draft, of Teekah's building, but I definitely want to see mixed-use commercial first and second floor with an escalator.
Oh yes.
Yes, right?
Yeah. It's gonna be a mixed use.
I love that.
that would be
It'll
awesome.
be,
Teekah.
I'm
try
on-
to keep it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're on board.
I'm
Team
on board,
Teekah.
man. Let's
That's
do
it.
Love to see it.
That's amazing. Well, that's all
a
my
wrap for me,
questions.
dude. I'm happy as can be right
Okay,
here.
Teekah, did you have any last words?
No. Meaning for any new investor, if they want an investment, there's always room for opportunity. There's always room to grow, and it's never too late. Although the price for the market is not that's the greatest for first-time buyers. It's more of a seller market. It's honestly, and hopefully once the interest rate can drop, it will become much of a better market.
There'll be more competition.
There'll be more competition because
Yeah.
money will be back in the market.
Exactly.
yeah.
So,
But we need new buildings. in
yeah,
order to
exactly.
sell, so-
And what I like about this episode is that what you spoke on is just like love and caring and having relationships with your tenants. When you're an investor, I think that's a great message to be to push through. Love on your tenants, nurture them. You're not gonna have all the best tenants, but
Correct.
if you can have a good relationship with them, you're only gonna be,
better.
it's
You're
gonna
going to be better.
yeah, it's gonna pay off bifold.
Yes.
2 times. So
Agreed.
I appreciate you coming out and sharing your knowledge and your experience. I know, like I said, I met your brother, but meeting you has also been a pleasure.
Yeah, same here. But
So
I
thank
appreciate
you.
it. I appreciate you guys' time and to give me the opportunity to be on here, and looking forward.
Absolutely. Now we're Team
See you
Teekah. You're gonna
guys. Yeah.
once that 15-story building is built, you're coming back, and we're gonna have a whole picture and everything story on
Yep.
the 15-story.
Yep.
And we can talk about how great it's been to have a trolley stop in front of it.
Oh, there you go.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yep.
let's wrap it
I
up.
really appreciate it, and thank you guys again.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bye.